welcome on board to the Rabobank Hockey World Cup 2014. Malaysia take on England next, live from The Hague in the Netherlands. So it's day 5 of the tournament, day 6 of the competition. The players have had a rest day yesterday, so should be back in action. Should be super fresh for today's game. And there's a look at Pool A and the standings so far. Australia and Belgium unbeaten at the top. They play each other later in the day, but have all 6 points from their opening 2 games. England drew with Spain in their opening game and then went on to beat India in the last couple of minutes. So mid-table as things stand at the moment, and a useful 3 points here. Malaysia would go a long way to helping their efforts to qualify for the semi-finals. Just those top 2 teams from each pool going through. As we have a look around the stadium here, we just had some rather torrential rain about 20 minutes or so ago, so the pitch is super slick. Fans from both Malaysia and the UK there, and busloads of kids as well in for this one. Local organisation getting it right and just spotting themselves up here on the big screen as well. Here we go then, the 2 sides coming out onto the stadium here, the Hague Stadium in the heart of The Hague. George Pinner away to our left-hand side, Mark Legwall, and England in the all-red kit face Malaysia next in the black and yellow strip. Malaysia ranks some way behind England, 13th in the world. England up in the top 4 these days, currently ranked 4th. There's the Fox family, Mrs. Fox on the left there, giving us a wave. Dan Fox taking that hit into the knee in that game against India. Back on his feet and looks fit for this one. And the rain just starting to come down again now as we prep ourselves for the national anthems and the first half action on the way after that. There's the England ladies watching on, and rain over us. Well, it has a slightly different context today. It is absolutely tipping it down here in the Netherlands. Malaysia versus England, the first men's game of the day. A few of the fans safely undercover here at the Hague Stadium as both sides meet each other. Just the one result from the day. The Australian women beating Belgium by 3-2. Here's how Malaysia line up with Fitri, Faisal, Sharun, Sukri, Aslan, the captain, the most experienced with over 333 caps in there. Mohamed Kumar, Razi, the danger man from the penalty corners, number 17, Faiz, Tengu and Ismail in the starting 11. There's a look at the Malaysian huddle. Didn't qualify for the 2010 Hockey World Cup, but they're here in the Netherlands in 2014. The lowest ranked side in the tournament here in the men's division. That's their assistant coach there, Gobi, and their head coach, Mohamed Dharma Raj, preferring to sit up in the stands. Rain coming in sideways now from right to left as we look at the England lineup. Pinner in goal, Ashley Jackson, the drag flicker to look out for, wearing number 7, is fit and plays. Harry Martin, Brogdon, Hoare, Cleghorn, Middleton the captain, Shingles, Whiteman, Catlin and Dan Fox make up Bobby Crutchley's starting 11. Strong bench there to draw upon as and when he needs it. There is Crutchley. Safely stowed away in the dugout. Right, let's get things underway here. Our umpires, Hong Lei Kim and John Wright, ready to go. So England in the all-red kit. Jackson in possession. England playing from right to left. Another important game this for England. Remember, England drawing that first game against Spain 1-1, and went on to win against India by 2-1. On the back foot slightly here as that ball comes in towards the D, and Jackson, the last line of defence, as Abdullah looked to get the better of him at the head of the D. So England with those 4 points from their opening 2 games. Simon Mason is alongside me in the commentary box, having played for England and Great Britain. Your assessment of the England men so far and what they have ahead of them in the form of Malaysia?
The assessment so far is simply that they've been inconsistent. They played well in, very, very well in patches. They should have taken Spain probably 3, maybe even 4-0 by half-time and then fell away to the draw. And similar against the Indians. Today against Malaysia, what they will face is simply speed. The Malaysians will play quickly pretty much at all times, and we've seen right from the outset their willingness to step out and press. And if England don't match that pace around the ground, they could well be made to pay.
Is the weather going to play a factor here today?
Well, it's far that I think with this amount of rain, even this, one of the best pitches in the world, it will slow. The amount of water on it will mean the ball pace will just fall away slightly, and so both teams will have to force those passes.
Good defensive work there from Michael Hoare of Wimbledon to get the ball back. England being pressed and back into their own half at the moment. Malaysia will have the free hit just outside the 23-metre attacking line. There's young Harry Martin tracking back as well. All 11 players now inside that defensive zone. Remember, Malaysia can go straight into the D here if they want. That slap comes in, and jump from Barry Middleton to avoid his feet. If it catches the foot inside the D, it's a penalty corner. That's what Malaysia are trying to do now as they work their way around the back. Their best attack of the first half so far. Inside the first 2 minutes, if you're just joining us. Malaysia 0, England 0.
A super bit of skill from Nabil as he came along the baseline. That's Harry Martin, you just mentioned, in the middle of your shot. But Nabil carrying the ball, cushioned on the end of his stick to get a little bit of lift, make it really hard for England to effect a tackle.
Dan Shingles was fouled there by Abu. And the free hit will come back to the halfway line. There's John Wright, the South African umpire, propping up one end, and Hong Lei Kim, the Korean umpire, up the other. Both soaked, as are the players. A nice welcome to the afternoon here in the Netherlands. The English will be used to it, playing in this sort of weather, of course, back home on a regular occasion in their club teams. There's Tim Whiteman of Beeston. Beeston, who had a successful domestic season, coming out champions.
The other thing, this amount of water might have an impact on his footing. If the pitch does start to get a little waterlogged, quite often the grip that the players have can get compromised, and therefore we'll see some players going to ground if they turn too fast. Or alternatively, a player dropping their stick there, as Ismail has done, the grip gets incredibly wet, makes it really difficult to hold on to and affect good turnover for skills and particularly for shooting.
Could play a factor as and when we get penalty corners in the game as well then, Simon.
Yeah, if we do, the ball will come out slightly slower, enabling the first runners to get to the top of the D a little bit quicker. And then also, if there are any flicks, if the grip on the stick is not quite strong enough, then you can find the stick rotates, and quite often it'll go under the ball, and the ball will lift more than the player wants.
Jackson was bumped off the ball there, one back possession, and broke the first 3 tackles. Here's a great crossfield ball there to Middleton, reverse stick chance, Cleghorn puts England ahead. It's England 1, Malaysia 0. Great team goal, it all came from Jackson in the midfield. Middleton playing his part with that pass into Mark Cleghorn. But England have the lead, cool, calm finish on the reverse. England 1, Malaysia 0.
Exceptional vision from Jackson to find Middleton. I thought Middleton made the wrong choice and he should have crashed it in, but Cleghorn, how calm is that? Picks, peels out to reverse, knows exactly. We see the full rotation, over the keeper, into that far corner.
Had Brogdon there in support if he wanted, elected to go himself. A second goal of the tournament for Mark Cleghorn of East Grinstead. And England have the lead after 5 minutes.
Well, it just shows that it's the speed of thought, not necessarily just the skill execution. There was nothing there that was rushed across those 2 passes and then the final shot. But all 3 players knew exactly what they wanted to do from the moment they got the ball. And it's that speed that creates the space and the opportunity.
From Malaysia's end, some terrible defending. Here's Harry Martin now, trying to catch Malaysia again on the back foot, keeping that momentum and rhythm going. That's come up off his stick into his body, so it'll be Malaysia ball. Quick restart from them. Remember the self-pass, players able to pass to themselves, unlike football. You have to pass it to a teammate.
Well, that Malaysian defensive shape a moment ago, the exact reason why Middleton had the space. Malaysia are trying to swarm England when they carry the ball. Put 2, 3, maybe even 4 players to the ball side of the pitch to create a compact defence, no line to goal. But if one of the England players can see the opposite side, as Jackson did, there is a huge amount of space to run through.
Pass from Martin goes astray, and it'll be a sideline ball for Malaysia. Both sides looking to make their first round of substitutions, with Carson, Dixon and Mantell waiting to come on. Afifi, Rosley and Jalil as well on standby for Malaysia. Jackson over the ball again for England. Involved in that first goal. He missed the first 5 minutes. Mark Cleghorn has put England ahead here. Settle yourselves. Hopefully you've got the lunch break off. You can stick with us here if you're watching on the internet or on the television, wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome on board.
And whilst Jackson played a longer half slap ball across to Middleton for the goal, one of the skill sets that Jackson has is just the ability to hold the ball on the end of the stick. He flicks very much like it. Huge touch, releases off a very small backswing.
Whiteman was looking for that ball to get through to Mantell. Couldn't thread it through. It was intercepted. And Mantell forcing the foul there as well. Malaysia have the ball inside their own defensive quarter. Trailing here, though. And here's another look at that stick skill from the Malaysian.
Well, it's shielding the ball. Mantell's set behind. You could question whether it's backing in. What I mean by backing in is when a player carries the ball and deliberately places his body between the ball and the opponent. You can do that to create protection, but you can't then move your body into the defender. And it just looked like the crabbing movement down that left touchline was turning into something of a shield or an obstruction.
No danger there. England have the ball back on the 16-yard line with a 15-metre restart. This is Hoare on the near side. He's got Shingles up ahead of him on the left. Jackson in midfield, opts to go back through Fox. Whiteman outside him, into Middleton. Back to Hoare.
As that ball comes forward, you'll see there's almost a 5-man Malaysian front line on the halfway line. They're waiting for the ball to be played in very patiently, and then they're trying to swarm around the ball receiver to try and force them into mistakes.
Malaysia now on the counter-attack. Break down the left-hand flank with Ashiri. And wins the free hit. Has to be brought back to the dotted line, remember, for the restart, which Sari will take. Fitri Sari. Jackson just penalised for not being 5. Will restart the free hit. He is now 5 metres, is right on the edge of that D, and there's something going on in the D here.
There's the disengaged umpire who's picked up the hassle, and John Wright's now going into the middle of the circle just to make his point.
No more warning, okay?
That's Tim Whiteman. He likes to defend with one arm free and just feeling where the other player is. We talked a bit about it in the tournament, and you think just getting a feel for where the attacker is. Let's see if he can keep his hands off him as Malaysia looks to get this ball into the D. It comes in now. Almost deflection! And it's the wrong side. And it's taken a defensive touch here, so did Pinner get something on this?
Well, I think this might have been taken in the first instance by a defensive touch in front, but it looks like the player's gone down. From what I saw was some kind of dislocation on a finger, but it's a defender. Pinner's in the right place, but it's Henry Weir who's just got enough on it. So there's impact here, and I think it's the right hand of the Malaysians has gone down. A big kick in the face from Pinner. Haffrey's been hit, but there's something wrong with the right hand.
They'll take their time here. There's a bit of blood as well, I think.
Yeah.
Here's another look at the incident, the build-up incident. There was a little deflection here, but the final touch, as you said, coming off the English defender, Henry Weir. The Malaysian attacker is back on his feet. Well, at least he sat up, which is a good sign. Holding that right shoulder, though, and yeah, there was some high impact with Pinner, the goalkeeper. You can see Pinner fully kitted up, the attacking Malaysian player, just with shin pads, gum shield. I imagine he's going to come off here. They're taking their time.
Yeah, I think they've called for the stretcher. Pinner goes across to his right-hand side, has to throw himself because he knows he's got to cover that post. Every opportunity to get across for the forward into that space. So Pinner's gone across, and his legs, as he's hit the floor, his legs have just followed through.
Well, there is the stretcher, eventually reaching the Malaysian player, and he's going to be stretched off here. Never a good sign. Hopefully we'll see the re-emergence of the Malaysian striker. Yeah, just catching it in the face there from Pinner's left hand. That's Afifi Hanafi, and that's George Pinner's reaction to what had happened. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, he had no idea what was going on.
No, it's fortunate, actually. The Malaysian player, once he's gone down, he's been caught hard. He's been caught with the foam of the leg guard and the kicker. The kickers themselves are strapped with nylon straps, and then they do have small metal buckles. They have to, the nature of the equipment. He's been lucky he hasn't been caught with one of those, because that could have caused a nasty cut.
So Hafifi Hanafi is stretchered off the pitch, and as we said, that final touch coming from Henry Weir, the England defender. So Malaysia with a long corner over on the far side of the pitch. Malaysia in hunt of an equaliser here. They trail to a Mark Leghorn goal. England leading by 1. Both teams with their video referrals intact. The green dots above each name of the country in the top left-hand corner. And the changing rooms are just back through and up those stairs, and that's where Afifi Hanafi is heading for some medical attention. And it looks like Malaysia here are going to be down to 10 for this challenge. A green card, 2 minutes in the sin bin. And it looks like that card's gone Ashari's way.
No, it's gone to Izzad. He's been penalised or off the ball for pulling his opposite number back as he ran back into the defensive line. So it's away from that replay that we just saw. John Wright's picked it up, and both umpires having to be sharp off the ball.
Interception here from Malaysia. Dangerous times for England on the back foot. Good counter-attack speed from Sari. Takes it all the way down on the reverse stick. And good physical presence there from Michael Hall at the head of the D. Sari coming crashing down.
And we spoke not 2 or 3 minutes ago about players deliberately putting their body between the ball and the player. Exactly what's happened as Faisal Sari's driven down that left-hand side. He's put his body in to make it a contest physically and been penalised for it. Spot on from the umpire.
There's the other green card and confirmation of that. So 2 minutes that Malaysia have to sit out with 10 men on the pitch. Good time for England to pinch another one. That foul from Middleton in the midfield, though, says the umpire.
And now's the time for England. OK, they've only got maybe another 60 seconds left of the penalty. Malaysia are swarming the ball. If England can get the ball out to one, get possession back and get the ball out to one flank of the pitch, then they'll suck the Malaysian defence across. And if they can get a lateral transfer through midfield they'll have huge overlap space on the opposite side of the park.
Well, Harry Martin and Ian Lewis, who's back fit again for this game, waiting in the wings, and Lewis is going to be making his first appearance there. Looks like he's going to be coming on at the back, and he should be able to add some distribution value to England. Comes on in place of Michael Hall, and that's Weir there in the front of your picture, making his way back, backtracking now, and tight to his man on this left-hand flank. England 1 for 1 at the back defensively, with Lewis just floating in front there, and then the front line now having to do some work with Mantell, Middleton in just alongside him. There is Weir there with the jab tackle, putting pressure on his opposite number. Abu can't get past Whiteman, who's come covering in there and will retreat back to the right half position. Some good cover defence from him.
Yeah, stepped up very well on Henry Weir's man. Weir had gone into the challenge about a metre out of position and it had gone past him.
This is where England have found acres of room in this first half. Reverse stick cross comes in, comes up off Mantell's stick onto the reverse, and came up dangerously, says the umpire, off Mantell's stick. That first initial touch not clean enough.
Now Mantell will be disappointed because if he brought that down, he had a pass under his arm.
End-to-end stuff then at the moment, with Malaysia counter-attacking that little lifted ball above knee height, says the umpire.
Well, I said at the start of the programme that Malaysia were going to offer speed. You see here on the replays, the ball is just fired up into Harry Martin. Umpire John Wright exactly on the spot to make that call. But Malaysia have no qualms about picking the ball up and carrying it through midfield with real pace.
For England's part, they're looking good going down the right-hand flank. They seem to be sucking a lot of the play to this near touchline, the left-hand touchline. There's Lewis with the ball through, and unlucky there, penalised, and they're saying for high ball.
Yeah, and it was unlucky. The Malaysian player saw it and didn't see it, and it went clearly over his head, and he didn't react in any way because he was running away from it. It was a lovely pass for Lewis to see in the first instance, and the takedown in the circle was epic.
There's a little boom just drifting onto the pitch. I'm not sure if this is going to play a bit of a distraction for the players, but a helium balloon of sorts with a message on, just finding its way onto the pitch from somewhere. And the rain comes pouring down again for the second or third time now. Torrential rain hitting the pitch here in The Hague. The balloon cleared off the pitch by one of the volunteers. England find themselves in a monsoon here, but Malaysia trail by a goal to nil.
Well, and when the weather starts to turn like this, it's a distraction to the players. They all have to focus on just simple outcomes. You can very easily start to worry about the conditions, and it just takes away 1 or 2% of your concentration as you worry about the cold, the grip, how you're moving on the turf. And both teams just need to make sure their chat is good, the captains lead the lines.
And also they try and maintain that ball speed as well, that slightly heavier turf, as Gleghorn picks it up. He's got Catlin and Brogdon under his arm. The defender winning that tussle. Malaysia have the ball back. Good defending from Jamaluddin. 4 at the back for Malaysia. This is Mutalib on the right-hand side. And then sitting back on about a 75% press at the moment. They've got that 1 goal cushion.
But aside from those counter-attacks down the right-hand side and the high-speed build-up we've seen from England, they haven't really held the ball high enough up the pitch yet to trouble Malaysia consistently. It's pretty much all within 15-20 metres of the halfway line, and they need to be doing this kind of ball movement about where Middleton is now, on that line.
Lovely movement off the ball as well, that interchange pass between Martin and Middleton not coming off, and England back to their defensive duties now. But it's equally important that England are working hard off the ball, Simon.
Yeah, and they have to, because this Malaysian team is renowned for how quick it is, and if you don't work hard initially off the ball, you find yourself just a metre, 2 metres out of position, and that's when the athletes at this level are quick enough to accelerate through the space and close off a defensive line. So as a defender, you're then always running your recover tackling, and recover tackling is dangerous, often leads to cards and corners.
Ashari there with the poor first touch for Malaysia gives England back possession. Ball spread out wide now to Weir. Now down the right-hand flank, breaks through, finds some space for himself. Route 1, oh, and Catlin just out of reach. Can't get a hold of it.
Well, Weir does break. He's got his eyes up. He's seen the pass. It's been left in the middle for Catlin. not sure it was meant for him in the first instance.
Bobby Crotchley knows that was a good chance. The England head coach probably would have put it away in his day, wouldn't he? Or not.
It was a different game then. He was a fantastic post-up player. You try to get to him in the circle so he can turn and shoot. Bursting through forward the channels there. The ball was out of Kaplan's reach. I'm sure it would have been out of Bobby's as well.
Here's Razzie now, the drag flick specialist with the ball in. Crossfield, those dangerous diagonal balls are the ones England have to keep an eye out for.
And that's where I think England have an advantage now that Lewis is back fit, because he polices the line to goal brilliantly. Super experience in the middle of defence. So that ball, whilst it looked dangerous initially, there was no Malaysian in the channel for it to be played through, and it went harmlessly out of touch. And as long as Lewis can set up the defenders around him, that will continue to be effective.
Ian Lewis of East Grinstead, back in the squad today and out there on the pitch at the heart of the England defence. Plays number 24 if you're new to the game. Good track back from Mark Leghorn, and that's just what you want from your front runners. Mark Leghorn, one of England's top strikers and the goal scorer here for England on the day. Fox is beaten. Malaysia have a free hit outside the circle. Clipped in eventually and gathered by Lewis. Doesn't want to get caught in possession here. 16-yard hit. Kept his cool. Just getting news of Hafifi Hanafi's injury as well. The Malaysian number 9 going down, colliding with England's goalkeeper George Kinner. We're just hearing he has been taken to hospital just to get a full checkup. Hit the turf rather heavily, and well, we'll bring you up to speed throughout the tournament, but let's hope he's okay. Brogdon breaking down the right-hand flank. Here's where he's looked strong. He looked great against Spain. All over the pitch, has a great turn of pace at the moment. At his very best, I think, physically.
Yeah, and you can tell by the way he carries the ball, he's confident to attack those channels. There's no hesitancy about his running, and for a player who is confident, they get it and they accelerate. There's no pause before they go forward, and that creates great space.
Jackson came up off a Malaysian stick. Used to seeing Jackson drag flicking it. He has got that shoulder injury to contend with, remember. And we've seen no penalty corners in the game so far. Clips that one goal boundary, deflection from Leghorn. Tried to steer it towards goal, and Brogdon, who was on the far post.
Jackson a little frustrated that Leghorn didn't get a touch. You can see the communication on the pictures of him indicating with his hand what he wants Leghorn to do. The run, the lead, I think, was right, but Leghorn wasn't down low enough just to deflect the ball across the face of goal. Jackson, interesting pronunciation. Jackson and Leghorn, both teammates at East Grinstead. So how important is it that you have that telepathy with your teammates? It just speeds everything up. And these guys all play together, not only at club level, but internationally so often. And it means that the pass has become more instinctive. And when you play with that flow, it's very, very hard to counter. It's like the Indians in their heyday when they attack through channels on counter-attack. They seem to just understand before something happened what was going to happen.
Good interception touch. That from Shingles takes it out for a sideline ball. England with some more defensive duties to do here. Malaysia trying to get back into the game. They trail by a goal to nil. Into the circle now. Free hit just outside. England back with full numbers, all 11 back. Middleton gives chase and Brogdon alongside him, just trying to push Malaysia back a little. Plenty of movement in behind though, and helped on into the D here. Some great defensive work again from Henry Weir, who's having a cracking game this first half, getting in front of his opposite number.
You've made T sign.
The signal's been made for a T sign.
What's wrong?
Furhan saying that the ball is lifted dangerously into him.
Okay, fine.
It did hit a Malaysian foot, but it's how high.
The guys reckon the ball has come up, creating danger. Have a look. Thanks.
Dion Nell, the video umpire today in the bottom right of your screen, just chatting there.
Oh, we see here on the replays, the ball gets touched in, really nice little touch in. Contest between Weir, and it's the head of Weir's stick that just knocks it up into the Malaysian player. And the first contact, I have to say, to me, looked high. It's just the toe There's the first touch in, and then Weir, as he steps into the tackle here, the toe of his stick lifts it up into Ern's knee.
It's going to be a penalty corner, isn't it?
John?
My call would be yes.
Were you happy with the height that the ball has hit the player on the knee?
Well, it has hit him on the
and
knee.
not being dangerous?
Yeah, but okay. I'm of the opinion that's dangerous. So corner, okay?
Yeah, well, I think that's the right decision on the evidence. I mean, but the rule is very loose, isn't it? Because, I mean, it wasn't dangerous. It was a good defensive tackle, nipped in there, but it was the height of the ball that caused the problem.
Yeah, both you and I were happy with it being a corner because it was high. It was on his knee, and okay, you can argue that it wasn't dangerous because it wasn't going to hurt in any way, but it was at a height that if a player had then swung at it, it would have caused danger. So John Wright taking control of that situation, because the question from Dion in the box was, are you happy with the height? He said, I'm not, therefore I'm giving a corner.
Penalty corner number 1 of the game. Malaysia trail here by a goal to 0 against England. This a great chance to get one back from the head of the D. A drag flick held up there, and great defensive run from the England number 2 runner.
It's either Dixon or Whiteman who stepped out there unbelievably strongly on the backhand.
Hard to tell with all the face masks on, but in the slow motion we'll actually get a better look at it. Here it is. It's not a straight flick as you'd expect, laid off here for the slip.
Look at that from Michael Hall, going full length on the deck. It's a great spin, a really hard thing, and the drag flick is just a fraction behind the Malaysian player, enabling Hall to get the toe of his stick to it and deflect it over the crossbar.
Just behind him as well, you can see the level of commitment. Mark Leghorn at full stretch as well with his body out, was prepared to wear it as well. So good commitment being shown from England, and they hold on to that 1-0 lead. Martin just leaving that ball and involving Whiteman now, who's in possession. Jackson, Middleton away to his right-hand side.
And interesting that Malaysia went to a routine. They know that their players have scored direct flick corners so far this tournament. They know it and England know it, so you have to commit to the first flicker. And when you do that, it does leave spaces that Malaysia very, very nearly exploited.
It's this man there that got the shot off, Fitri Sari, brother of Faisal Sari, who wears number 10. There's Fitri as well, a slippery little customer.
No.
Looking for Jackson's foot. That's come up off Shingles' stick this time, but it's outside the D, so England doing well. Mantell back to defend his lines. A brave challenge from him as Jackson tries to play him in, but was well predicted by the Malaysian defender, who stepped in between that return pass between Jackson and Mantell.
Yeah, that's a great step up. He's gone down over Mantell's stick. Mantell didn't even see Aslan coming.
Aslan Misron, the Malaysian captain, leading by example, over 333 caps for him now as Mantell picks it up, keeps it in, and he's got support. There is Comden at the head of the D, completely unmarked. If Mantell was able to get that ball in.
I think Comden had come in off the subs bench, which is why he was unmarked.
Mantell again on the baseline. Here's a chance to make it 2, straight into the keeper's pads. The follow-up, can they get it in? Great defending from Malaysia, and that is a golden opportunity for Tom Carson. That should have been 2.
Oh, that should have just been swept in first time. The goalkeeper was trailing in the wake of the pass. Mantell saw the pass to Carson. Carson unusually unable to deliver. There it is, open stick. The first touch in his back foot. He's tried to shovel it under the goalie and then somehow managed to miss it. And for a man with the quality of skills he's got, criminal miss.
It's a funny old game. A goal that you'd expect Tom Carson to convert, and well, it would have given England some breathing space, that's for sure. Just under 12.5 minutes to play until half-time. Just that one goal between them. Mark Leghorn putting England ahead. Here's another look at it from behind the goal. The keeper getting something behind it. Kumar Subramaniam at full stretch there, and some great defensive cover from Malaysia to then get players around Carson, like bees around a honeypot.
And they've done that very well, Malaysia, so far, as they have managed to swarm the ball carrier around the pitch, and in a contested situation like that, they've got great hand-eye coordination and good individual skill.
Chance to counter-attack here. 2-on-1 at the back. Jackson back in the nick of time to cover. Just takes a little rack on the knuckles as he does so. Great confident carrying of the ball from Ashley Jackson, gets his head up and makes that ball to Carson, finds its target. Comden comes forward now, and again off target from Carson. England should have done better.
And the way out of shot, Jackson standing at centre-half with his hands open. What are you doing with all the work I've just done? And the world's best players do exactly what Jackson just did, make it look so easy. He knew what he wanted to do, and he just drifted, ghosted through space.
Dixon being sold the dummy there, but does the legwork back and then gets in the jab tackle. England sitting in their own half now. That ball comes up. It's come up off a Malaysian stick. It was Abdullah. Sharun Abdullah. And now Middleton. Weir. Crossfield to Hall. Whiteman now. Mantell in front of him. And again, Carson waits inside the D. Whiteman to take the restart. Mantell shuffles forward too. Dixon off Whiteman's shoulder instead through Hall now. And this is Fox. Weir, England just looking to manoeuvre Malaysia around here as Middleton comes back into his own half. And this is going to be a close call for Fox, who gets to the ball first, gets his eyes up and drives forward. Weir.
That's a lovely little space ball from Weir. Jackson and Whiteman unfortunately didn't read it early enough to accelerate.
Here is Jackson over the ball, in looking for the deflection. It was Dixon who was on the far post. It'll be a 16-yard hit, no touch from the England player inside the D. There's the England ladies in your shot there, watching on, enjoying a day off today.
Well, Jackson's seen the lead from Dixon, but it's just outside the post. Dixon slightly too quick. Lovely little weighted ball into that post for the tipping chance.
So the men, as we said, picking up a draw and a win so far in the tournament. The England ladies, well, it's back-to-back losses for them. Not the start they were hoping for in the 2014 World Cup. They have been helped out by a couple of the results in their table, but the best they can get now from the tournament is 9 points in the pool section, with just those 3 games remaining. They'll be back in action tomorrow, the England ladies. England versus South Africa is a 2:30 pushback local time. Here's Jackson looking to make it 2 for England. That's going to have been chipped in high to the body of Aslan Misron. Shame, good counter-attack.
Yeah, just Jackson carried that forward. He wasn't helped by Catlin. Catlin's run was a little bit too high. I think if he'd just taken a pace and stepped backwards away from his defender, Jackson could have got it backhand across the middle of the pitch to Catlin in stride.
There is Catlin now finding his stride, this time with Middleton linking up, and Dixon 1-2 with Middleton. Weir now with Brogdon ahead of him. Here is Ali Brogdon. Good turn of pace here if he can go on that reverse stick. Strides out, strides forward. Fouled surely at the head of the D. It's not a penalty corner. It will be a free hit.
And Aslan, the captain, setting up a defensive line that blocked Brogdon's run in.
Middleton needs to move this 5 metres. Plays it to Jackson. Here's a chance to make it 2. Does it creep under the keeper? Advantage played. And again, Carson with the chance. He was first to fish it out from underneath the goalkeeper. But again, another clear shooting opportunity there for England.
Oh, and Kumar in goal has done brilliantly. The pass from Jackson to Middleton was fantastic. I thought it had got trapped underneath the goalkeeper and potentially could have been a corner. It finally popped free, and Carson just unable to get it over the sprawling form of Roslan, who got a left hand across.
Firhan sees the ball go off into touch. It'll be Nabil with the restart. Here's another look back on that chance. Lovely 1-2 from Jackson and Middleton to lead to this point.
Yeah, the keeper had no idea where that was. Carson's got there and tries desperately hard to get it over the top, but somehow S. Kumar manages to get a great big left hand across and deny Carson for a second time.
Yeah, the last of those saves was fantastic when you look at it from that angle. Got a full glove behind it. Carson unable to clear Kumar Subramanian's glove, and England come forward again. The game just slightly stretching and opening up now. And well, a little bit of brightness as well in the arena. The sun trying to break through. Mega cloudy day here today in The Hague in the Netherlands. We've had torrential rain in the first half. that slowed the pace of the game down a little, but just that one goal in it, scored by Mark Leghorn on 5 minutes.
You know, I would imagine that Coach Crutchley for England is just suggesting that his team need to really focus on what their jobs are, because the Malaysians will be happy for the game to open up. They'll want to charge through space on the counter-attack, and if England get involved with that, it'll play into the Malaysian hands in these last 6 minutes.
6 attempts on goal for England in the first half, just 2 for Malaysia. England with a couple of really good scoring opportunities in the last 5 minutes. 6 minutes remaining on the clock in the first half. We start with Faiz. We're now with Brazil. Crossfield from Aslan, the captain. This is when they've looked at their most dangerous for me, Malaysia. Down that left-hand flank. This is Nabil. Not too many options leading towards him. Middleton was first to the ball there. There was a little nudge off the ball. Middleton's got away with it, though.
Now, if England go hard, they've got 4 on 3 if they really accelerate. They haven't committed that many players. Middleton down the right-hand side didn't quite accelerate past the ball. And Malaysia now have managed to get players back in. If you're going to go, you've got to go hard with support off both shoulders.
Poor finds Shingles. That crossfield through Fox. It was a bobbly ball, awkward one for Fox to take that. Kept his eye on it every step of the way. Middleton, great footwork to play, and Whiteman now get into the D. Can he get a penalty corner? It will be England's first if he can. No, he can't. Also not foul. But he wants to know why it wasn't a foul and how it wasn't a foul. Let's have another look at it.
Well, he's driven on the forehand. There's there, you could suggest, I mean, it's the stick across the shins that takes Whiteman to ground.
But you can see his point there. He's stopped in his tracks because the stick was literally stopping him going forward.
Absolutely, and whilst he still had the ball under control and the umpire is watching that ball and the end of the stick to see if there's any contact, it's that trailing stick from the Malaysian defender that's just affected Whiteman's balance. I can see why he's appealing.
Look at that, the sun's come out.
Sunshine.
4 minutes on the clock as Malaysia come forward. We're almost at the end of the first half.
Get up.
Oh, surely, oh, I'm very surprised there's no umpire call there. If a player deliberately goes to ground, then it is considered to be a deliberate foul, obviously, and cards can be picked up, and John Wright, whilst he's told him to get up, I'm surprised there isn't a harsher blow on the whistle, because that did appear that they're tracking back forward to put himself on the turf in order to stop England.
Jackson peels out, and this is Hoare again. Just a little bounce pass into Middleton. Aerial now, looking for Brogdon, who's the deep player. Great interception from the Malaysian skipper again. Aslan certainly taking control back there for Malaysia.
And he had to, because Brogdon very cleverly had run with Aslan and then backed away to the baseline, giving the space behind. If Hoare had just been able to get a little bit more height on it, Aslan was at full stretch.
One picked off rather easily, that pass from Jackson, and fortunately England regained possession. Interception again here though, not for long. A little bit of acceleration from Shahril. Malaysia just running out of ideas in that final quarter at the moment for me.
Yeah, and Fitri didn't read the pass through at all, but it's the Malaysian opportunity coming from England, hesitancy, and England just need to be careful in this last couple of minutes, because Malaysia will be quite happy, as they are in shot, to play 4 and 5 men high in a press, force England to play through.
Strong pick-up from Middleton, took that first touch away from him to give himself space. Can't find Mantell there. Off Mantell's stick, advantage played though by the umpire. And wins the free hit. England have good possession here. Possible chance for a final attack before the end of the half. It'll be a long corner as Harry Martin tries to get through.
Behind, please.
Good level of control to this first half of performance from England as Shingles looks to finish off. Can England finish the half with a goal? Crossfield ball to Fox from Middleton. Forward to Whiteman. Martin and Catlin is ahead. Infield though to Gleghorn, the goal scorer. Middleton now. Onto the reverse stick of Catlin, and his weight and his body motion was bringing him towards the ball, and that ball tucked in behind him.
Yeah, the pass itself not as accurate as required. Catlin leading in, needed it on a forehand to deflect it across goal. But England once again with inroads down that right-hand side past Tenku's defensive area.
Foul from Michael Hall this time. Good crossfield ball. First touch from Sharil. Didn't really help him out too much. Gleghorn will pick this up on the halfway and go himself. Self-pass and cuts infield with that little chip. There's two England players over here, including Catlin. Martin now ahead of him with Mantell in the D. There's the ball into Mantell. Can he get a shot off? No, he can't. Does pick up the ball though and does regain possession. Here's Martin. Crossfield ball looking for a tip-in from Gleghorn on the far post.
If only Mantell had known where his teammate was in the circle. It was a fantastic pass to him in the D. But if he'd just known that there was a little dink ball under his arm, England would have been presented with pretty much one of the easiest tap-ins of the game so far.
Good strength from Sharil to carry the tackle for Malaysia. Their last chance to get an equaliser before the end of the half. An important tackle there, the final touch coming from Michael Hall before it was aerialed away. The final few seconds tick off the clock, and England go in at half-time. Malaysia 0, England 1. So there is Mark Gleghorn, the goal scorer, scoring on 5 minutes. The best possible start for England in this game. No penalty corners as yet for Barry Middleton's side, but Mark Gleghorn, an individual goal, had his back to goal, and then with the reverse stick just managed to squeeze it past Kumar Subramaniam, the Malaysia goalkeeper. There is the Malaysian coach, Mohamed Damaraj. And Kubra Subramaniam has had a couple of good saves to make in this first half against England, denying Tom Carson not once but twice late on in the second half as well. So England go in at the break a goal up. Half a job done, going in search of another 3 points and looking for their second win of the tournament. So there is confirmation of the half-time score here in The Hague. It's Malaysia 0, England 1. Welcome back. Half-time here at the Rabobank Hockey World Cup 2014. The game between Malaysia and England. A game which England lead at half-time by a 1-0. You can see there Mark Gleghorn scoring the one and only goal of the half. Ashley Jackson feeding Barry Milton here. Gleghorn completely unmarked on the P-spot. Cool, calm finish though, with his back to goal. Knew exactly where the goal was. Keeper moving away to his right-hand side. Gleghorn just tucking it under the body and into the netting. That was Malaysia coming close. There was some concern there, and Hafifi Hanafi, who collides with George Pinner there, at the very end has been taken to hospital to get a double check on that collision. And really England should have gone ahead by 2 here. Tom Carson denied, and then Harry Martin's shot blocked as well. There's Carson completely unmarked. Mantell finding him with the pass, but Carson not able to find a way through or past Kumar Subramanian. Again, England came close here with Middleton trying to slot one underneath the goalkeeper. Dixon lurking on the back post, and again Carson the first to react and get to it, but Kumar Subramanian getting a glove to it as well on the follow-up save. So just that man's goal that separates the two sides. We've seen plenty of rain, water going on the pitch from the water cannons, but the heavens have opened again as we look at some of the other stats from the half, and England with 6 shots to 2 in their favour. Circle penetrations wise though, Malaysia competing with 6 circle penetrations of their own and a share of the possession. Just the one penalty corner going Malaysia's way in the first half. So there we see a few of the fans. They're sat some way back in the stands, not getting too wet, and they've had their say on social media. So why don't you, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, you can find us there. Send us a tweet at FIH_hockey. Let us know what you think of the game, who you're shouting for, maybe a big shout out to your team, your hockey club, whoever you may play for around the world. What do you think this scoreline's going to be between Malaysia and England? Have your say now via Facebook and Twitter. Well, various supporters from all over the world enjoying the hockey here. There's another couple of youngsters over from England as well, with their banner flying high in the sky here in The Hague. The event organisers bussing in, well, busloads of kids really for these early morning games. We're always at capacity in the evening when the hosts play, and this evening the Netherlands women take on New Zealand. That should be a cracking game. Netherlands looking for their 3rd consecutive win of the tournament. The Black Sticks, well, a win essential for the New Zealand women, as it is here for the England men as well. Both sides just emerging from the changing rooms. England are the first to get out onto the pitch. Barry Middleton and Michael Hoare, Tim Whiteman, David Condon as well, already out on the pitch. And we're looking to go pitch side with Bobby Crutchley, pick his brains. I wonder what was said in the England dressing room at half-time. Let's head down pitch side.
Well, Bobby, what's your general contentment level? You got the early goal, but it doesn't always mean a happy coach.
No, there's usually a lot of goals in games, so no, I thought we defended pretty well. I thought although they had a lot of possession, I thought we were solid in defence. And then I thought we were just a bit slack in finishing them off on some of the good chances we had. My hope is we're as good in defence in the second half, but we finish off the chances we create.
Water is an essential element of the sport, but does it make it tougher in conditions like today?
Well, early on it just got a little bit heavy on the pitch, but actually the pitch plays pretty well. It can take a lot of water, so hopefully it'll play a really slick, fast game now.
Thanks for your time, Bobby.
No problem, thank you.
Malaysia setting their hurdle, ready to go. Simon Mason alongside me in the commentary box. We'll get your thoughts in a little bit, Simon, of what we heard there from Coach Crutchley. But England set ready to play. Faisal Sari and Adam Dixon having played against each other in the Hockey India League. Little smile from both of them Barry Middleton as well, regrouping his troops for this second half. Hopefully you're set. England away on the left of our picture, Malaysia to push back in the yellow and black. So Malaysia trail here by a goal to nil, and Mark Leghorn giving England the lead on 5 minutes. England ranked 4th in the world, Malaysia back in 13th as Middleton picks up the ball, and a lovely turn early on from David Condon, giving England that attacking chance. Middleton and Condon now putting pressure on the Malaysia defence. Just 1 goal in the first half. England with another couple of chances falling to Tom Carson late on in the first half, and we heard from Bobby Crutchley at half-time. Your thoughts on what he had to say, and also England's first half performance, Simon Mason.
Well, Crutchley obviously I think is a little concerned about the missed chances. He did feel they defended pretty well, which I agree with. But he knows in the back of his mind what happened against Spain in their opening game. First half, didn't take the chances, should have been 2 or 3 goals clear. Exactly the same here. Carson should have slotted at least one of those 2. They were relatively straightforward, despite some good goalkeeping. England need another goal, a cushion, because Malaysian are very dangerous on the counter-attack. You give them 1 or 2, they're going to get something out of it.
Yeah, Malaysia in the game before this, 2-2 at half-time with Belgium. It took a sterling effort from an individual effort as well from Tom Bone, the Belgian striker who went on to get 4 in the game. Belgium winning that one 6-2 as Whiteman comes forward now. He was looking for that overlapping run from Middleton. His head went down, and that's the reason why he's tapped it off into touch.
He got slightly off balance, Whiteman, and therefore had to focus on the ball carrying, and was actually using the head of his stick to help him balance. In doing so, his eyes have dropped to the turf, and Middleton's, what he thought was an offensive run, was actually a defensive run, so the pass going astray. Malaysia
now coming forward. Tengu couldn't find a way through England's defence. This is Dixon now. No lack of confidence there as he takes on 2 players and skips a double tackle. Just needs to find the connecting pass now as the challenge comes in behind from Tengu and commits the foul. This is Lewis back in the side after sustaining a dead leg in one of the games in the build-up to the Hockey World Cup. The first time we've seen him in action. Good to have him back at the heart of the defence.
Very much so, and he offers a wealth of experience that can change things in front of him, because he's got a passing range different to many other players in the game, and so he not only can go short and sharp, but can go long and powerful, which means the defence against him aren't quite certain what to expect.
That's the play back and around here. His first touch letting down slightly, but Michael Hoare, again, quite content to come forward. Going to have some serious confidence to do that as a defender.
Yeah, as a goalkeeper, I've been gritting my teeth thinking, OK, you're running that one-on-one into a position where you haven't really got any cover defence. Just need to be careful about when you do that.
Henry Weir winning the ball back and plays in Middleton. Middleton looking for that ball ahead to Condon. It's intercepted. Malaysia back with possession. Malaysia, remember, who qualified for the Hockey World Cup. They finished 5th at the Hockey World League semi-finals. That's ensuring their qualification for this year's 2014 World Cup. Highest ever finish of 4th back in 1975. But didn't qualify the last couple of times round. In fact, their last appearance was in 2002 on home soil, where they finished 8th. They look to get into the England D. Just 1 penalty corner so far in the game for us. Nabil is waiting inside the D now. Long corner comes in. England back in numbers, all 11 behind the ball.
Well, neither team carrying the ball out of their own defence particularly well.
Good interception from Middleton. Stepped in front of that pass, which was sighted up for Faisal Sari. Leghorn now getting in amongst the mix, and Middleton will have it again with Condon ahead, and Brogdon was free in the middle. Took a little deflection.
Yeah, fire is absolutely crucial. If Middleton had been able to get 6 inches of height on that pass, and I'm pretty sure he'd have been trying to, England were in, uncontested in the heart of the Malaysian defence.
Malaysia come forward now through Firhan, right through the heart of the England defence. Brogdon and Lewis there, ensuring that he didn't get into the attacking 23.
Outside, outside.
Free hit taken outside by Fitri. Can be slapped straight in, remember, and the deflection chance was there. There were 3 yellow shirts in and around the penalty spot, but no one able to get a touch on that ball that came into the D.
Yeah, and as Razi Rahim came up, I think England were possibly expecting a drag flick rather than a slap, but in the end it was Lewis physically on the floor contesting the ball into the circle.
Brogdon's strength in the carry and plays in Dixon. England have a free hit on the edge of the circle, which Ashley Jackson will take. Lewis to Hoare with Whiteman outside it. Line balls on to Mantell, scorer of that winner the other night against India, scoring in the final few minutes to keep England's hopes alive of a semi-final berth. They've got a tough pool: Australia, England, Belgium, India, Spain and Malaysia, all contending for the top 2 spots and a place in the semi-finals. Ball comes in, deflection, final touch from a Malaysian player made it dangerous up into the circle. Free hit on the edge taken by Lewis. Now to Jackson.
Jackson a full stretch because Lewis rushed the free hit a little bit, trying to dictate play. That's a poor pass from Whiteman. That's just thrown into the Malaysian circle with no real purpose.
To explain to newcomers to the sport as well, you'd normally expect a player to lead into that space. That's why the ball was floated in.
Yeah, one of the terms the coach will use is posting up. You lead away towards the goal to drag the defender away and then run back into the space. Literally stand like a post, get the ball played to you, and then you can just lead off the shoulders of that player to create opportunity.
So what you used to do as a goalkeeper as well, mate? Just stand there and pretend to be a post?
Yeah, stand like a post. Make yourself as big a post as possible and hope it hit you.
Malaysia with possession then. We've got 28 minutes or so left to play in this game between Malaysia and England. Hasn't really come alive in this second half as yet. Some good shooting chances for England at the end of the first half, which fell to Tom Carson, but just Mark Leghorn's goal that separates the 2 sides as Jackson retreats to man-on-man mark. Ball is back out and around through Fies. Crossfield and forward from Razi. It's come up off Brogdon's stick. Quick restart from Malaysia. They've got a sea of red shirts to get through first, though, and Lewis carries it away, wins the free hit. Well, it's confident defending from Ian Lewis. Takes it round 3 defenders. Yep, to no end. Final jab tackle comes in from Henry Weir. Dangerous times there. Lewis skipping 4 tackles, but getting caught out of the last. Harry Martin now comes forward. Crossfield ball for Simon Mantell. It was behind him, but no excuses there, really. Just another step back towards the ball, and he would have picked up that cross from Martin.
Yeah, Martin's driven forward. He's seen Mantell. It's not the cleanest of strikes. It's just a yard behind Mantell. He hasn't pushed off his left foot. His weight's going the wrong way. Needed to just adjust his body position so he could shift his shoulders back towards the ball. It's all about your core strength.
Well, we saw Middleton almost got a ball through to Brogdon in a similar situation. Seems to be a lot of space on that diagonal as they play it in from the right-hand side, England, into the D.
Yeah, we talked about first half that Malaysia are committing men defensively to ball side, and in doing so, probably 1 or 2 players more than England are running with, which means that the help side, the blind side, is where the space is.
Low tackle from Barry Middleton, the captain, most experienced of the players out there, over 300 and roughly about 307 caps now, I think he's on.
I think it's probably about 311 or 12, only because he took Russell Garcia's all-time record of 308 in a game against Australia before we left.
There we go, Mace. I knew it was worth having you on board. As England go for their first penalty corner, they get it. Good strength on the ball, and Carson comes good, earns a penalty corner here for England. It'll be their first of the game, and they've got the likes of
We're not getting the first
Ashley
one.
Jackson.
Then getting tackled. That's why we're getting frustrated. Yeah, it's quite a bit of advantage.
Carson's just turned. Aslan has over-committed himself as he's gone in. Carson's just tried to dink it back. It's a good first tackle with the handle of the stick, but then the ball has got underneath Aslan. He's on all fours.
Quick.
Carson, of course, who can flick the ball from the head of the D, lines up. Could be coming his way. Remember, we've got Ashley Jackson with a shoulder injury, and they might not want to risk anything here and go with Carson's shot. So he's earned it. Can he convert it? Comes his way. Head of the D, takes a flick. It's low to the keeper's right foot, and just out of the touch there was Barry Middleton on the rebound. Jackson again forward, looking for Middleton, wins the free hit.
5 meters! Okay, slowly. 5 meters!
Two balls on the pitch there, we'll just get rid of one of those, and the umpire screaming out 5 metres, that's how far the ball has to come back, and England also have to move it now 5 metres before it goes into the D. They've more than done that, as Fox sprays the ball out to that left-hand flank. It gets all the way round through Hoare to Weir, and they'll come back again.
Well, a good possession tactic, but if it's going to be an offensive tactic, they need to miss out one of those passes. Trouble with a four-man back division is it takes 3 passes to get around all the players, and the athletes that they are facing are fit enough and strong enough to do the legwork to cover that. Any team playing a transfer needs to go to a 3-pass transfer if they're going to be effective down the flanks.
Infield to Catlin, who's nudged off the ball. That was all body, and it's going to be a green card for the Malaysian midfielder. And there'll be a long corner as well. So there we go, Malaysia down to 10 players again for that harsh challenge on Nick Catlin. So England up here, they can take advantage. Extra player, as Shingles picks it up, forward now to Middleton. Malaysia having to work extremely hard. Here's Catlin looking to roll out, back to Shingles, and Fox now.
Yeah, but England's still holding a 4-man back four, and Jackson needs to get higher.
He's going for it himself, looks for the deflection, and it's gone wide at the post. And from this angle, that was about a centimetre away from going in off the far post from Barry Middleton. The best chance of the second half. It came from Ashley Jackson's run.
Jackson went forwards exactly as we said. Middleton's come in behind, underneath the goalkeeper, through his legs. And look, it's just glanced past the far post, and he can see it all the way and knows it's not the goal that England so desperately want.
And that would have relieved some of the pressure out there. England currently on 4 points as we get confirmation of Faiz Yali's green card. 2 minutes in the sin bin. 2 minutes Malaysia have to do without him on the pitch. Harry Martin getting muscled off the ball there by Nabil. Wins that tussle with the restart. Self-pass onto Catlin's reverse stick, looking for another penalty corner, and gets it.
Yeah, Catlin doing well, but it was all about Harry Martin's strength. The first touch on the replay just outside the line of the circle, and then the ball up off the Malaysian stick into Catlin's body, resulting in the award of that penalty corner. That's up, dangerously so. John Wright in no doubt. That's England's award.
Well, we saw Carson flick low last time, and Kumar Subramanian getting a touch to it. Barry Middleton just going and getting a stick change. I think he might have broken that last stick.
Vicky!
Maybe this is his lucky tip-in stick he's just picked up. Bottom right of your picture, number 18, Barry Middleton. Carson at the head of the D with Ashley Jackson alongside him. Jackson was the intended target, but Fox couldn't stop it. This is Jackson now, who couldn't thread that ball through to Razzie.
Well, I think a couple of players there, you talked about Middleton changing his stick. The reason he's changing sticks, the grips are getting wet out on this turf, so they're changing sticks quite regularly. We see on the replay the stop from Fox not clean, it just pops off the line of the turf, up and away behind. He reacts quite quickly, and the ball eventually comes back to Jackson on the end of the edge of the circle. Amazing
in that slow-motion replay, wasn't it? Ashley Jackson didn't realise for the first couple of seconds that the ball wasn't there. He's just so used to seeing the ball stop dead and then just picking it up and letting it go.
Well, as a flicker, you can't wait for the ball to be trapped. If you do so, you give the opponent defenders an extra metre to get on top of you.
This is Whiteman then, driving to the baseline. And he's been penalised there for, I can only presume, his stick getting in way of the defender's stick.
I'm not sure we'll see a replay, but I think the jab tackle, yes, there was a bit of stick contact, and also I think it just hit his back foot as it came back through him.
Lovely first touch from Ismail.
Shingles was looking a little bit laboured in the tackle. He needs to make sure that his feet stay nice and sharp. Carson stepping out there. As a forward, you can do that, that's fine, just cutting angles down. But Shingles, as a big man, needs to keep really alert and on his toes.
There's a high ball in, pretty obviously, because George Pinner having to deal with it at head height as it came in from this left-hand flank. Tam Fox, cross-field ball. England have looked good here when they've retained possession and moving well off the ball. Good long pass, which finds David Condon. Condon now to Dixon. Dixon's got some space here. Carson on the far post as well. And Malaysia in all sorts, and that follow
That's a head to
through.
follow through.
Yeah, that stick, I think unintentionally, has gone into the face of David Condon, who's gone down as the defender cleared it. Says he's fine, but here's a look at that chance which fell to Dixon.
Dixon's second touch is what meant it was unsuccessful. He tries to go from left to right across his body, but now we see on the clearance, Dixon lets it go across, right, left, doesn't catch it. If he caught it, I think he'd have got it underneath the goalkeeper on the way through. Then the follow through here smashes Condon around the cheeks.
Yeah, Faiz Yali has absolutely thrown his stick into the face of David Condon, who seems to be okay. Whiteman to Dixon. Little stick challenge on Dixon, advantage play. This is Hall.
And going back to what you were saying earlier on, Mike, England have handled the ball very well. And I think they just need to remain patient, because Malaysia obviously need to come out and try and get something from this. And in doing so, that's when the spaces will open it up. At this point, with 20 minutes to go, England do not need to force the play. They need to be really measured in what they're doing.
And from Malaysia's point of view, a loss against Belgium the other day, 6-2, a 4-0 loss in their opening game to Australia. They need to throw the kitchen sink at this game.
Yeah, they do, and they've got the skills to do so one-on-one. I'm just not sure they've got the structure. Against Belgium, it was individual brilliance that dictated the outcomes. It won the corners, got the goals. But so far, we haven't seen them build anything up towards the edge of the England circuit. It's all been high-paced, running through space on turnover.
Tom Bone scoring 4 goals in that game and is the tournament's leading goal scorer as things stand at the moment. Cleghorn with 2 in the tournament. One of those today after 5 minutes.
No advantage, no advantage.
And there's just 19 minutes left to play in this, the third pool game for England. And their next game will be slightly tougher. It's their old rivals, Australia. As Middleton breaks free, comes crashing down, but not before winning the free hit.
A little nudge on Middleton. He'd done very well to just dink the ball over his opponent's stick. England back to a conventional back two with Fox and Lewis. A moment ago it was Catlin who'd ended up at the back as Lewis had driven through forward space. And even though England are extremely fluid across their lines and their players, they do need to make sure they just get the running players such as Catlin forward on the ball, carrying through some spaces.
Oh, lovely turn in the midfield. Sees Fox eliminated, but he's doing the legwork back after Tengu gathered it all. A clean tackle from Barry Middleton, but the first tackle the umpire didn't like. England back in numbers. Remember, just that one goal. Here's a look at that little bit of skill which eliminated Fox, and oh yeah, there was Barry Middleton saying his tackle was clean. This ball can come in now, looking for the deflection. It's loose, and Middleton again coming away with it. Lovely turn. Great awareness of where Catlin was now. He's on the halfway.
Look at Condon going in front of him.
Absolutely stretching in front of him. A chance to make it 2. And Condon, 2 touches, 1 to get it under control. Second shot was on target. Kumar Subramanian with the save.
Great pass. It needed a first touch, take it towards goal. Condon did really well to get any sort of connection on it towards goal. Goalkeeper off balance on his heels, but able to be effective.
Martin wins the race to the ball. Dropping it off for Shingles, who's Adam Rand. This is Fox. Crossfield now to Whiteman. Bit of space opening up with Catlin ahead of him. Cut infield was strong. Onto the foot. Takes the free hit. Whiteman takes the full 5 metres and goes himself. And great awareness, was just looking for the Malaysian defender's foot there, but couldn't quite bring it under control in time.
Whiteman exploiting that uncertainty in the Malaysian defence. The ball had stopped dead, which meant he could just run straight onto it, and was so close. It was about the second, third, fourth touch that let him down in the end.
Whiteman and Brogdon now into playing, and a great step from Malaysia's young number 15, I think it was there. Comes off for a break, and the ball back in Shingles' territory. England have it back.
A great awareness deep in the Malaysian defence to step forward, and in the end
it was Faiz
who stepped forward to intercept. We just saw a replay of Condon. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes, but that understanding, that anticipation that the players show, exceptional at times, because the game is played at such high pace. To then actually be able to predict things even faster than they're actually going to happen, it's really remarkable.
Weir just tucks it under the body of his opposite number. Faisal Sari, who just left his body in on the challenge afterwards. Dixon retreats, and England pushing all the way across to their left-hand flank now to defend this next Malaysia attack. Ball is at the back with Izzad. Too many options down that right-hand flank for Malaysia. Aslan on this near touchline. Good ball into space. Whiteman breathing down the neck of Firhan, but Firhan getting into space there, and Fox again from this angle, just getting a little physical on his player. Did enough to distract the Malaysian attacker.
Well, Fox was happy to go shoulder to shoulder. Whiteman had actually overcommitted. As a defender, if you're running out towards the touchlines, if the opponent can actually get first touch in towards goal, it's difficult to counter.
2-on-2 at the back. Leghorn with the ball in. It was a deflected shot. Long corner. Izzad with the final touch. Brogdon and Comden in at the far post. Here's a chance for England to make it two. Great save from Kumar Subramaniam off that shot from Brogdon. I think that rattled him in the helmet by the sound of things.
It did, and that's a better finish from England. Leghorn, superb down the baseline.
England getting closer and closer to that second goal. It's just not coming, no matter how hard they try.
Well, whilst it didn't come for Carson, I felt it was Carson's fault that he didn't score in the first half. In that instance, that's exceptional goalkeeping from Kumar to get across the pitch to the ball.
Ismail loses possession in the midfield, allows Jackson to come forward again. Comden just ahead of him, and that dink pass into the turf earns Jackson and England a free hit, finding Razzie's foot. There's a deflection just wide of the post. This time it came off David Comden's stick.
Well, I'm not sure Condon was actually trying to deflect that. I think he was trying to stop it. Jackson saw him from the free hit. Ball in under the arm. No, he wasn't trying to deflect that. He's trying to trap it and go to backhand to shoot. But Leghorn here, along the baseline, saw the space, pulls it back. First time sweep shot. Sure enough, Brogdon into Kumar's grill.
Keeper doesn't have a clue there, does he? I mean, that is just good positioning. He could obviously see where the sweep shot was going, but a bit of good fortune as well.
Very much so. A ball that comes from that side, normally the sweep shot, because it's left-hand dominated, will pull across the body to the far post. As a goalkeeper, you go with your body down the right-hand side, legs to the left. He's kept his upper body up really well, though, and therefore pulled off a great save with the visor of his lid.
We have just seen there as well, England dominating circle penetrations as far as it goes, but just one goal in front. So Malaysia still very much in touch, and, well, the last thing England can afford to do now is sit back and relax. Saying that, Malaysia haven't really threatened from their circle penetration. It's just the one penalty corner in the game for them. We've got a green card there. I didn't see who it was given to. It's Ian Lewis that's coming towards us. So that's 2 minutes in the sin bin for Ian Lewis. That means England down to 10 players for those 2 minutes, and Malaysia come forward into the attacking zone. Faisal Sari looking for a penalty corner. Carries on his run. Middleton upset. He didn't get a result there. He was after some sort of foul.
Yeah, it felt like as the ball came through, the stick tackle in the circle. Middleton thought that Sari had actually hit his stick rather than anything else. Jackson, what a pick off his left foot as the ball was just flicked up past him. And England with Lewis out the central defensive position just need to regain shape.
2-on-1 here at the back. If that ball could be fine through to Leghorn at the head of the D. Here's a chance. Revolves onto his reverse stick, but then the Malaysian defence getting back in time. Leghorn, if that first initial pass had come through from Fox, was in acres of space.
Yes, indeed. And there's good defensive running from the Malaysians. Must have known what was in the middle of the circle behind him, and therefore cynically, but effectively got stick and feet in the way of the pass.
It's not hard to miss Mark Leghorn, one of the bigger forwards that England have in their attacking lineup, as that ball dribbles off Catlin's stick.
Yeah, but the second pass that did get to Leghorn, by the time it got there from Catlin, he had a little bit of attention. I felt that he went to backhand a little bit too early from where the defender was coming against him. If he'd gone to backhand, peeled back to forehand, probably had a better opportunity of a shot.
The Shingles, Carson and Mantell waiting down there on the halfway line. Harry Martin joins them for England's next roll of substitutions. somewhere in the region of 40 to 60 substitutions a game. Players allowed to roll on and off as and when they like. Ashley Jackson and Catlin between them, fouling, and that gives Fitri Sari the ball. Makes way for Razi, though, who plays this ball wide. This is Aslan, the captain. Ball's bounced off Dixon's stick, and, well, no hesitation there, just to bash it out into touch.
And sometimes a simple way is the best way, and Jackson made that decision. That loose ball in the circle, didn't want to get clever and dribble it out. Saw the channel, went out to sideline. Malaysia have to regroup and come again against England.
England back up to 11. So that spell, that power play that Malaysia did have with that man advantage, now restored, and England back up to full 11.
Don't touch me, please, number 11.
It's Ali Brogdon back there that's just been warned by the Korean umpire just to keep his hands down and off the attacking player inside the England D. But the ball right back here in Malaysia's half. They come forward again. Jackson was looking to get his stick and his nose in front there, and that would have been a counter-attack opportunity. Instead, it's a long corner.
Exactly, and every now and again as a defender, you just want to step aggressively out into the line of a pass. Because if you're successful at picking it, you're then away, absolutely uncontested, because your momentum and your pace is going in the direction of the ball, and quite often you can then just eliminate defenders by running into the massive space that exists in the far corners.
Inside the final 10 minutes, 46 goals in total been scored in the tournament. In the men's half of the draw, at least, the men and the women both in action here. Just the one goal in today's game from Mark Leghorn, as Malaysia look to come back and equalise things here. They've got a bit of space, a bit of move, and that's straight back from Dan Fox onto Ashley Jackson's stick. There's the Malaysian fans. We saw that a fair few times out at the Hockey World League semi-finals.
Yeah, and they have a fantastic following all around the world. Not yet as developed as what we see from the Indians and the Pakistanis when they play around the world and bring big crowds in, but the Malaysians certainly have it, I believe, based on one of their football clubs, the Ultras, I think, that they go round and create a huge amount of noise and energy.
If you want to experience noise and energy, come back for the final game of the day. 7:45 pushback between the women of New Zealand and the Netherlands. That certainly does have an atmosphere, and they love their hockey out here as Jackson picks up the ball back in his own quarter. Still a bit of work to do here for England.
Shingles using his size to carry the ball outside his right foot, and then as the tackle comes in, tuck it back underneath. Crossfield ball a little optimistic, and you have to feel that England are forcing the play a little bit in these 2 minutes.
Dixon. No qualms there as England have it back with Fox. We're now down that left-hand flank. It was Carson who leads well towards it. He's got Mantell ahead of him, and this is Catlin now on the inside, on the 25. We're in support as Catlin is bundled to the ground. 8 minutes to go. Malaysia 0, England 1.
Malaysia contesting every single ball physically across the pitch, not willing to give away any playing lanes. And that's a well-worked England free hit. We've seen them play simple balls through this tournament.
Here's a chance for Middleton to make it 2. It's blocked by the final Malaysian defender, Kumar Subramaniam. The goalkeeper was behind him, but the shot blocked by Razi.
Great commitment from Weir because he'd missed the first touch, had to go to ground, full-length forehand.
Weir again gets a stick in. Hoare is back there as well over on the left-hand flank for England. Mantell's come back. Carson's even back inside the defensive quarter. Carson steps, and alongside him Catlin, as they chase this ball down, finds Sukri. Jackson thinks about going, instead holds his line. Faisal Sari, that's a stick challenge. Jackson concedes a penalty corner. It was good stick skills from Faisal Sari to earn that penalty corner. Dangerous times now for England. It's Malaysia's second of the game, and they scored twice against Belgium.
Well, I think Jackson's got off the wrong shoulder of Faisal. If he let him peel around the front of him, then he would have been running away from goal and not dangerous. By giving him the goal line, as soon as the ball goes there, it's almost impossible for Jackson to pick it cleanly. And sure enough, gives away the free hit.
Yep, the foul coming against Jackson and the penalty corner coming, so 6.5 minutes left on the clock. And, well, Malaysia could deal England a massive blow here if they score.
And they've got the firepower.
Razi at the head of the D, comes Faisal Sari's way, he earned the free hit and the free corner and gets the shot off. Reverse stick shot comes in, it's bobbling all over the shot, whistle's gone, follow-up penalty corner it is.
Well, that's effective yet ugly defending from England. The ball just would not get clear. The lineman, whoever it was, charged down first and foremost by Fox. Lineman here unable to get it away, then stick on stick. Eventually the bobbly ball, Pinner charges out, but it's hit a body Hoare on the goal line. Pinner, that's a good save.
Yeah, whistle had gone just before that. Weir and Hoare coming in with challenges. More defence to do here for England. Same setup for Malaysia. This time the flick comes in from the head of the D, and Pinner had to be his very best. It was an uncomfortable height for the tall man. Michael Hoare just getting rid of his face mask. He had Catlin ahead of him. England back to their defensive duties.
It wasn't a pretty save from Pinner, but at this stage of the game, for any goalkeeper, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it doesn't go over that white line. Pinner getting his body down, his hands down, and he's cleared away to the left, enabling England to recover.
Yeah, Razi with the shot on target, not one of his better flicks. And room here now on the left-hand side, it's Sukri with the ball across the face of D. Jackson goes up, able to play the ball above head height, remember. And Dixon just saying, was that dangerous? Jackson now continues down the left-hand flank with Catlin cutting in field. Good strength to carry that tackle. Middleton now on the outside of Catlin. Penalty corner for England. There was a persistent amount of tackles coming in around the ankles of Nick Catlin, and England have a chance to make it 2-0.
Middleton asking the question, that's a hideous tackle. The second one was fine, but the first one was hideous, and John Wright's gone to the penalty corner. Here we see the save, however, from Pinner. He's picked it, he's gone down to his right-hand side, got everything behind it. Left glove, right glove, and body was not going through there.
15 seconds.
So from one end to the other.
Come, guys. Quick, quick.
We've got Ashley Jackson alongside him, Tom Carson of Reading. It's Nick Catlin set to inject the ball. Dixon at the head of the D. Now, who's going to take this one from the head of the D? Will it be Jackson to give England that 2-goal cushion? It is. Jackson takes a flick, this time goes high and scores! Ashley Jackson for England. He's done himself some damage in doing so. That shoulder again causing him a few issues, but he's given England a second goal here. England lead Malaysia by 2-0.
That is his favourite corner, and look at the commitment to the cause. Out to the top of the D, double step in, opens the wrists and whips it high to Kumar's left hand. But look at the stress on his body, he is carrying that injury. But it's executed perfectly, the control, the cushion, delivered top corner, favourite spot. Crutchley is delighted.
2-0 England, 3 points in the bank. Ashley Jackson scoring on 67 minutes. There's still a few minutes to ride out here, 3 minutes left on the clock. Ashley Jackson coming off with that injured shoulder, straight to get medical attention with it in the England dugout. Job done for him, job done for England as that ball trickles off the edge. Carson unable to get a touch on it. There he is, clutching that right shoulder.
And that's going to be the story of Ashley Jackson's World Cup from now. Play, do everything you possibly can, put your team in a position where you can win the game and then get off, recover, sit down. If it's muscular, the physio will be working hard. And the rest days that they get between these games, he's going to spend hours on a couch getting that fixed.
Hopefully not in a coach.
Yeah, absolutely, sorry.
There are better ways to spend your time here in The Hague. But England are going to come away from this game with 3 points, the best they could do. So 7 points, that will take them up to maybe a final flurry here from Malaysia to try and get 1 goal back. This is Fitri.
England said, Bobby Crutchley said at half-time. Sorry, just pausing as Middleton picks that brilliantly on the edge of the circle and gets bundled over.
Play waved on, and Faisal Sari earning the free hit. Can't go straight in from here. Can now. Faisal Sari looking to go reverse and clip it in Tomahawk style. Ball comes into the D. England has to be careful here with their feet, but some good defending from Dan Fox.
Good defending, by word. The other thing that Coach Crutchley did identify at half-time was the strength of the England defence. And I think at times when Lewis coming back into it, it gives another rotation to allow those back three to stay fresh and stay sharp. And England have really denied Malaysia any meaningful chances just by policing the line to goal, making sure they've got numbers on the turnover. So even the dangerous Malaysian counters have come to nothing.
If if you've managed to get the day off work, or you can get the afternoon off work as that ball comes Gleghorn's way and trickles off in the end for a Malaysia 16. 4 p.m. Try and watch that game between Belgium and Australia. It is going to be a crunch game because both those sides with 2 wins in this pool see them on 6 points. England temporarily will go to the top of this table on 7 points. But remember, England with games against Australia and Belgium still to come. So that could be a crucial game. 4 p.m. pushback local time. Inside the final minute of Malaysia versus England, though. England with 2 goals in the bank, looking to add a third. Harry Martin wins the free hit outside the D, which Barry Middleton will now take. Goals for Gleghorn and Jackson, giving England what looks like it's going to be a 2-0 victory. As the Malaysian coach back to square one for him, their next game against India. Again, they'll very much be looking to get some points from. Malaysia, remember, ranked 13. England very much expected to win this game, but a goal early on from Mark Gleghorn on 5 minutes, opening England's account, and Ashley Jackson scoring late on here in the second half to make it 2-0. Youngsters in the crowd playing their part and counting off the final few seconds, and the final score here, Malaysia 0, England 2. There's the England women then, back to GT tomorrow for them. The England girls taking on South Africa in Pool B, that to look forward to. The England men here coming away with all 3 points, which takes them up now to 7 points and to the top of Pool A temporarily. So other games from this pool to look forward to today. Belgium versus Australia, as we said, at 4 o'clock. 5:30 local time, it's India versus Spain. George Pinner, one of the first to congratulate the Malaysians for their efforts here today, but England just too strong on the day. Kumar Subramaniam up the other end has had a fair bit of defensive work to do. Carson could have added another couple easily. England just 2 goals on the day, one for Mark Gleghorn and the other for Ashley Jackson. So there, confirmation of the full-time score here. It's Malaysia 0, England 2. Well, there's Ashley Jackson still smiling in the front of your picture, but with that shoulder injury that he's contending with, Barry Middleton will be very content. The England captain. Super day's work in the office, a sigh of relief as well almost. And here's a look back at some of those highlights from the second half. That was a flick from Tom Carson after he earned the penalty corner. Jackson then came forward with that deflection effort, going perilously close to that far post from Barry Middleton. Catlin this time accelerating down the right-hand flank with Condon ahead of him. Condon just 2 touches to get it goal bound, but not enough power behind it to trouble Subramaniam. Gleghorn this time got around the back, and then this time the sweep from Brompton into the helmet of Kumar. And then up the other end, that's the best of the chances from Malaysia's 3 penalty corners. George Pinner denying Malaysia, and Ashley Jackson, well, that's how you do it. Bang on target, good execution, and 2-0 on the day. Bobby Crutchley ecstatic as the England crowd pack up their things. We can head pitch side to hear from one of the goal scorers. We can go down and hear from Mark Gleghorn.
Well, Mark, how satisfying is that result? Pretty tough conditions. You've got the job done, though.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It is job done. I actually thought we played reasonably well in large periods of the game, and we created a hell of a lot of chances. Just unfortunately, we didn't take them earlier to kill off the game a little bit earlier. But you know, it's like you said, it's job done.
And you play a game like that, you get an early goal. How much pressure does it take off in the early stages?
I don't know if it takes any pressure off, because you know it's a 70-minute game. It doesn't really matter when you score. If you still need to execute your game plan and play properly. We probably didn't after we scored, and we probably took the foot off the accelerator a little bit, which caused us a few problems, and maybe that's why it was such a tight game for so long.
We expect all teams to improve as the tournament goes along. Where's England at? How are you tracking?
I think just okay at the moment. probably in the first half against Spain and then today's game, we've created a lot of chances, but we're not taking them at the moment, and that's causing us a few problems. Defensively, I think we're pretty sound, and we can hopefully, if we can continue that and take a few more chances, then hopefully we'll start hitting their straps sooner than later.
And to finish with, now that you're settled with the tournament and you can look at the pool standings, see you're in the fight, how important is it, and how much confidence does it give you for the back end?
Oh yeah, massively. You know, every game is so important because the pools are so tight. If you slip up, you know, it can have real bad consequences.
Bit windy down here.
yeah. So if we just keep doing what we're doing, concentrate, take it game at a time. Bit of a cliche, but you know, really, because the games are such short spaces, you can't really look too far ahead. Otherwise, you can slip up very easily.
Well, even after the game, the conditions are trying to get you. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
So England with 7 points in the bank. A look there at some of the other stats, those 20 circle penetrations. 1 of 3 penalty corners converted. The Malaysians unable to convert from their 3. And England again keeping a clean sheet. Just 2 goals conceded in the tournament. 1 against Spain, 1 against India. But the likes of Australia and Belgium still to come. Their tournament really does get going now. For Malaysia, well, their next game is against India. Malaysian fans have enjoyed their day out. A blustery day here in The Hague. The windmills doing somersaults out there. Adam Dixon just relaying a few messages. We'll hear what he has to say in all his press conference. Keep an eye on the website for any quotes from the players. But 3 points in the bank for England. Well done to Barry Middleton and Bobby Crutchley and the England boys. Here's confirmation of the final score: Malaysia 0, England 2.